And it's Freddie Freeman back with another video. I've done the Crawdads starting lineups and roster. I've done the Wood Ducks starting lineups and roster. So now it's time to do the AA affiliate, the Frisco Roughriders. I'll start by saying I think this is going to be a really good team. I think they will probably be the best team in the organization, I would think. If this roster even comes close to happening. There's a lot of good players on here, a few top prospects. And we're going to start off with the pitchers. We're going to start off with Reed Anderson. He spent 2016 and 2017 with the Crawdads. Now, 2016 was not the best year for him. He finished with a 1-11 record. That was not too good. But he did a lot better in 2017 for the Crawdads. He spent 2018 and 2019 with the Wood Ducks. And by the way, on these rosters, I'm not just going off of, yeah, they've been there for 2 years, move them up. I'm going off stats mostly. Some get moved up on these just because they're predictions for one, and for two, I mean, sometimes there's just not other players that I think will be on the roster, if that makes any sense. Next is Jason Barr. He is a top 30 prospect, or at least he was in the 2019 one. I think he still is in the 2021. I think he's going to have a really good year with the Roughriders. He got traded from the Giants in a trade. I forget what trade that was, but he got traded from the Giants. He pitched for the Augusta Green Jackets for a year, I think. Next is Kyle Cody. He pitched for the Crawdads in 2017. He didn't spend very long there because he was lights out when he was there. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention this when I first started the video, but some of my subscribers said I should wear a hat in the video. I like that idea, so I'm wearing a hat in the video. It's a Crawdads hat, too. Next is Taylor Hearn. He came over from the Pirates in a Keon Keala trade in 2018, I think. Next, we have Sal Mendez, who was picked in the 39th round by the Rangers. I mean, that was absolutely a steal for the Rangers to get this good of a pitcher. A long reliever, a starter. I mean, whatever you want to use him as, I think they got a steal with that. Tyler Phillips, he is also a former Crawdad, 2017-2018. Lots of these players are. Everyone so far except Taylor Hearn and Jason Barr have. Sal Mendez, I think he is going to be a starter if this team happens. Next is Tim Brannon. And Tim Brannon, he had a breakout 2019 season. In his first year professionally, he had a breakout season. He started with the Crawdads. He got promoted to the Wood Ducks, and I think he'll start the season with the Roughriders. Next is Cole Yabila. I think he'll start the season. He pitched with the Roughriders. He pitched 3 games with the Crawdads in 2019. He was then promoted to the Wood Ducks for the rest of the season and pitched really well there. Next is going to be Joe Kuza. He was the Wood Ducks closer in 2019, he did a really good job. I think he had 16 or 17 saves. I would think that led single A advanced. Next is going to be Jake Latz. This may be a weird pick to some people, and I understand why. Jake Latz was injured for most of the year, but he pitched really good when he wasn't. That's why I think he's going to get moved up. Blake Bass is next. Just like I explained earlier, this is one of the ones that who knows if he'll be on the roster. But he fit in well with the team, so we're gonna go with it. Josh Advocate's my next one. He was with the Wood Ducks in 2019 only. 2018 with the Crawdads. 2017 with Spokane. He was really good with the Crawdads. He pitched a lot of games with the Crawdads. 2019 with the Wood Ducks, he made I think 2 starts, which is pretty good. He didn't make any starts with the Crawdads. I always kind of thought in like 2018 that he could be a starter. Sammer Vivas is the next one, and this is probably the pick that's not gonna be that's kind of the weird pick. Sammer Vivas he's been with the Roughriders before. Now, he's not that good of a pitcher though. I could see him getting demoted within the first 20 games if there is a season. I just don't see him being that good. I think a demotion could be in his future pretty soon when the season starts. Next is Michael Machualua, and I think he's been a bust. Just a bust since he was drafted. He was supposed to be the best prospect in the Rangers organization in 2018. Came from Duke, and he was supposed to be the best prospect, and he hasn't turned out to be that way. He's had a lot of injury problems, and he's already spent 3 years with the Wood Ducks, which is quite a while with one team. But, some, like Max George, spend 3 or 4 years with a team and get moved up and spend more years with the team. Next is Sam Huff, the number 2 prospect in all of the Rangers organization. I can see him ending up with Nashville by the end of the season, but who knows? Yohel Poza. I just mentioned that I think Sam Huff might move up to the Nashville Sounds. I think this would be a perfect spot for Yohel Pozo to just take that starting catcher spot. Next is Alex Kowalczyk, and ever since 2017, he has not been nearly as good as he was in 2017. I think he could have a breakout season in 2020. I think he needs a comeback breakout year. Next is Entreni Cordero. Now, the reason I'm putting him on this roster is because Curtis Terry, who is also on this, I think he is going to be the main DH. I think he's going to be the DH. And I think Entreni Cordero is going to be the first baseman. He spent last year with the Wood Ducks and 2018 with the Wood Ducks. He spent 2017 with the Crawdads. Next is Anderson Tejeda. He is on here, even though he does have injury problems. He's good when he does not have injury problems. Next is Sheraton Apostle, and I think out of Josh Jung, Davis Winsdale, and Sheraton Apostle, I think one is going to have to get traded. And I think it's most likely going to be David Winsdale. Josh Jung is good. Sheraton Apostle is good. And I think those are the two better prospects out of the three. Next is Curtis Terry. I mentioned him when I talked about Anthony Cordero. He's going to be good, and I could also see him ending the 2020 season with the Nashville Sounds. I think he'll have a really good season with Frisco, and I think he could get moved up again. Next is going to be Ryan Doro, who I could also see ending the season with Nashville. I think a lot of people could get moved up from this Rough Riders team, kind of like the Wood Ducks team from last year. Because the Wood Ducks, they had a really good team in the first half of the season, which they still did in the second half of the season. Just the Woodpeckers, which are affiliated to the Trash Can Banging Astros. But they got beat by them, and that was because most of their players had moved up to Frisco. I think some of that could happen for the Rough Riders 2020 team. Next is going to be Yanni Hernandez, who I can see being like the main utility person for this team. That's about all I have on him. Next is Steele Walker, who came over in the Nomar Mazara trade. When Nomar Mazara went to the White Sox, Steele Walker was the main trade piece in that trade for the Rangers. Next is Eric Jenkins, who I think he's going back to 2016, 2017 form. I think he's going to steal at least 35 bags in 2020. Next is Leody Taveras, and I'm not so sure about him. He is... I think he's been an overrated prospect pretty much since he got drafted and played his first professional game with the Crawdads. Next is Scott Heineman, and I think he could easily start the season with Nashville. I just thought he was a good fit on this team. Next, we're going to do the starting lineup for this team. I think leading off, you've got Eric Jenkins. I think batting second, you've got Sam Huff. I think batting third, you've got Steele Walker. I think batting fourth, you have Curtis Terry. Batting fifth, I'm going Sheraton Apostle. Batting sixth, Ryan Doro. Batting seventh, Anderson Tejeda. Batting eighth, Anthony Cordero. And batting ninth, I'm going to go with Leody Taveras. Now let's get the positions for these players. I'm going to go for Jenkins left. I'm going to go with catcher Sam Huff. I'm going to go with we're going to go with center field for Steele Walker, right field for Leody Taveras, third base for Sheraton Apostle, shortstop Anderson Tejeda, Ryan Doro second, and Anthony Cordero will be first base, and Yohel Pozo, Alex Kowalczyk, Yanni Hernandez, and Scott Heineman will be the bench players. And that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I will be back with another video soon.